Hello my dear friends, I welcome you all to this new class. I hope you are doing well in your studies and making yourself busy, not wasting your time. So with the limited opportunities that we have, we must try to learn something. So we shall learn today about a new chapter, chapter 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. You know what is the meaning of vegetation? The trees, the plants that are growing on this earth, they are called vegetation. So vegetation means not just the vegetables that we are growing in our garden, but all types of plants in general are called vegetation. And the wildlife. Wildlife means the animals that are growing there. So the wild animals that are growing there. So we shall study in this lesson about the natural vegetation. Natural vegetation means the trees that are growing naturally, not that the vegetables that we are cultivating or not the trees that we are planting, but the natural vegetation. That means the forest and the animals that are growing in the forest. That is what we are going to see. So you can take your textbook, lesson number 5, page number 42, geography, lesson number 5, page number 42. And I am quite sure you might have observed in your surroundings location there are different types of trees are there. If you just move out to the mountains, to the jungles, you will find a lot of trees are there, variety of trees. Mostly in this area you will find pine trees, but you will also find some other trees. And you will find some of the trees are very tall, some of the trees are very short, some are just bushy type and so on, and some of them are like grass. So even the bamboo is considered as a grass, that is considered as the tallest grass, bamboos. So a lot of bamboos are there in our place. Then in the forest we will find a lot of birds are there and a lot of fields and ponds around the area and so on. So a lot of things are there. All these things are natural. Then are they similar or are they variants? So all the trees that you see, are they all similar? They are not similar, they are different from each other. Then India being a vast country, so we know the size of India, it is very vast, and we can imagine the types of bioforms. Bioforms means the living forms. They are available throughout the country. So India is a big country and therefore different forms of life will be found in India. Some may be small creatures, some may be small worms, some may be small trees, some may be small birds, and there may be small huge animals like elephant and blue whale and so on. So all these are different forms of life that are found in India. And our country is one of the 12 mega diversity countries of the world. You can underline in your textbook. So India has got 12th rank in having biodiversity. So India has got 12th rank in the world for having variety of biodiversity, bioforms of life. Then with about 47,000 plant species in India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia in plant diversity. So if you consider only the plants that are growing there, we have 47 plants are there. 47 plants in India, and therefore in the world we can say we are 10th in the world, or in Asia we have 4th position. So if you take all the countries in the world, which position we have? We have 10th position in the world because we have 47 types of trees. 47 types of plants are there in India. And if you take within the countries in Asia, then we have higher ranks. We have 4th rank in Asia, and the world means we have 10th position. So that's a very good thing for us. Then there are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% in the world's total numbering of flowering plants. So if you take only the plants that are giving flower, this is all together, all types of plants, and we know all the trees will not flower. So if you take the plants that are giving only flower, how many are there? 15,000. Flowering plants are there. How many? 15,000 flowering plants are there. And for that, we can say India is contributing 6%. The 6% of the flowering plants in the whole world is found in India. So that is also a great thing for us to boast about, because we have such a variety of fauna and flora. So we can say flowering plants around 15,000 are there, and we have 6% of the total flowering plant in the world is found in India. The country has many non-flowering plants. So we said we have 15,000 flowering plants are there in India, and we also have got, there are a lot of other plants which are not flowering, such as ferns, algae, then and fungi and so on. Fungi. And so some of the names of the non-flowering plants. What are they? Ferns, algae and fungi. And India has also around 89,000 species of animals. So animals, when it comes, we have more. 89,000. So we have, how much animals we have? We have 89,000 animals are there in India. That is also a big number. And there are also a rich variety of fish in fresh waters and marine waters. So apart from the animals living on the land, we have some 89,000 species of animals are there. Then we also have a lot of variety of fish. Some in the freshwater rivers, like rivers, ponds and so on, lakes and so on. And also in the other type of waters like marine waters, in the ocean or in the sea, also there are a lot of fish, variety of fish are there. The natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. So you can underline in your textbook what is the meaning of natural vegetation. So natural vegetation refers to a plant community, that means a group of plants which has grown naturally without human aid. So the trees that are growing in the forest by itself, we are not going and planting there, we are not doing anything, so it is growing by itself. That is called natural vegetation. The tree community or the plant community or the group of plants that are growing by itself without human aid and also left to grow without human disturbance. So humans should not go and disturb them, should not go and dig around, should not go and do cutting or pruning or anything. So that will be human disturbance. So these trees will be growing by itself without the human help, and also it will be growing out without disturbance from human being. That is called natural vegetation. So underline in your textbook. Let's say once again, what is natural vegetation? So natural vegetation refers to a plant community that are grown naturally without the aid of human beings and has been left undisturbed by the humans for a long time. So the trees that are growing in the forest, they are not planted by the human beings, they are not disturbed by the human beings, and it is there left for long time to grow by itself. So all the forests we can say it is a natural vegetation. And this is termed as virgin vegetation. So those trees that are growing by itself, not disturbed by the human beings, that is also known as virgin vegetation. So virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits and orchards form part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. So when we say vegetation, all types of trees and plants are included, including the fruit trees, the vegetables, everything is included in the vegetation. But when we say natural vegetation, only the forests are included, the forests that are growing by itself. If you plant some trees in an area and make a forest day, it is not included in the natural vegetation because they are grown with the help of human beings. Then it is not natural vegetation. So natural vegetation is the trees that are growing by itself without human aid and left for a long time without human disturbance. That is the natural vegetation. And they are also known as virgin forests. So sometimes they ask, what is virgin forest? So the forests that are grown by itself and left without the disturbance of human beings for a long time, they are known as virgin forest. So natural vegetation and virgin forest, they are same. And the trees that are grown by us, by human beings, like fruit trees, we cultivate fruit trees, we cultivate vegetables, or we plant some trees. All these are not natural vegetation. They are vegetation but not natural vegetation. Why they are not called natural vegetation? Because they are not growing by nature. They are not grown by itself. They are grown with the help of human beings. We are the one digging the place, preparing the place, planting the seed, pouring the water. All this we are doing. So they are not natural vegetation, but they are included in the list of vegetation. Let's see little general knowledge. Do you know? The virgin vegetation which are purely Indian are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. So we learn two terms here. What are they? One is endemic species or indigenous species, another one is exotic species. So the species or the vegetation which are purely Indian, that means the tree is in India, the seed is falling down and new tree is growing up, that is indigenous. The seed is not coming from any foreign countries, but it is grown here itself. That is called indigenous forest, or it is also known as endemic forest. You can underline. Sometimes they will ask, what is known as endemic forest or what is indigenous species and so on. So it is belonging to India. It is not brought from any other place. It is brought from India itself. That is called indigenous species or endemic species. Now suppose a seed is coming from outside the country. Let's say it is coming from Pakistan or Myanmar or Bangladesh. All these countries are sharing border with us. So if there is a strong wind, it is natural that a seed can fall to India by the wind. So then it becomes what kind of species, it will become exotic species because it is coming from a foreign country. Or we can bring from foreign countries, let's say from Brazil or Canada or America. When we come home, we take the seed of a tree and come and plant in India. So that is coming from foreign country. It is not originally belonging to India. So that is also called exotic. So that are coming from foreign country, the seeds that are brought from foreign country and planted in India, that will be called exotic species. But the tree was in India itself and the seed is falling down and growing new tree again, that will be called endemic or indigenous species. So remember these two terms, endemic and indigenous. That means it is from India itself, and if the seed is coming from foreign country, it will be known as exotic species. Then the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. So flora means the trees, the plants. So it is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. When we say flora of this area, means the trees that are growing in this region for a particular time, maybe according to the time or according to the region. And similarly, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. So flora and fauna, they go together. Flora means the trees growing in one region or in one season. And also we say fauna, that means the animals that are found in that region. So mostly these animals are found in the forest. So the flora and fauna, the term they go together. Then this huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the following factors. So we find that the trees that are found in one region, it will not be found in another region. The animals that are found in one region, it will not be found in another region. So there is a difference in flora and fauna from place to place. So why this difference is there? What makes the difference? Why the tree that is growing in South India, why can't it grow in the North India? Or why can't it grow in the Northeast India? So it is because of, we said at the beginning of this lesson, that there is a variety of physical features in India. Some places it is low, some places high, some places it is like a desert. A lot of differences are there in the physical areas that are found throughout India. So there are different reasons are there. All the reasons we shall study in the next class. So today we shall wind up, and I expect you to read this. We just took a very little class, so read this nicely, understand the basics and what are the terms: flora, fauna, virgin forest, indigenous forest, or endemic forest, or exotic species. All these different terms we already studied. So learn all these terms and it will help you to move ahead as we study. We will be able to understand better because we know these basic things. Once we miss the basic things, then the other terms, the new terms that will be coming in the future or in the coming classes, we may not be able to understand. So it is very important for you to read nicely, study nicely and understand nicely. So thank you for listening. We will meet you again in the next class. Until then, bye.